welcome to another session of Miss Thomas Learning from Home. Today we're going to look at life after 1877 on the America course. So we're going to start off with Native Americans. Buffalo were destroyed, their main source of food and material during the Native American era and culture. They're destroyed as white Americans move westwards and destroy 3 million buffalo, not being able to farm them in the same way that the Native Americans did, using all of the resources of the buffalo. The Friends of the Indians actually try and help. They introduced the Dawes Act. Now, the Dawes Act grants Native Americans 160 acres of land to farm, which is a positive because they had been forced onto the reservations and therefore their nomadic culture had been lost. That culture was also lost with schools being put into place, Christianity being enforced on them, Native Americans being renamed with English names, all by the American government. The final rebellion, the final kind of insurgence of the Native Americans is seen with the Ghost Dance. However, that ends badly at Wounded Knee. For the white Americans, you need to know only 3 things. First of all, big business really takes place at this time. Those ideas of those small plantations no longer exist. Big businesses that process tobacco, raw materials, coal, they really do take place and thrive during this later stages of the course. Trade unions are also really essential, and you really get that capitalist society that America is iconic for today. You get the growth of the cities, so places like New York and Chicago become really big in population, overcrowded, skyscrapers start to be built, and the American skyline changes forever. Finally, immigration. We see a huge influx of people coming into America looking for that freedom and liberty that America is famous for. They come in through New York on cruise liners, on boats, and then they face literacy tests, medical tests to come into the country. We see many Chinese and Italian immigrants coming in to New York during this later stages of the course and facing very harsh reactions and stereotypes and racism as a consequence. Finally, looking at Black Americans. So, Homestead Act actually helps the Black Americans because many ex-slaves actually move north and west into the plains. We see the to go and get their land. The Exodusters, again, are a group of ex-slaves who move westwards to try and find opportunity. We get growth of education. Booker T. Washington is a really good prime example of that. There is also, however, that continuation of the Black Codes, Jim Crow laws, segregation. Black and white facilities need to be kept separate. This really does thrive in the south of the southern states of America. And consequently, we see the growth of the Redeemers. These are a group of people who work in the South to try and install the Southern traditional values that were seen prior to the Civil War, almost instilling that racist belief back in. Consequently, we see the rise of that white supremacy group, the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, and we see a rise in lynching against Black Americans. So overall, the progress really is marred during this later stages of the course for these 3 groups of people coming into America that we study.